It might be just me. I might be alone on this. But I really do feel that deviled eggs can be a Super Bowl snack. And a good one at that. Let me explain. It's good at Thanksgiving. And on almost any time you get it, you know deviled eggs are always going to be good. Every time you eat them. I mean, that's just me. This is the Pick and Pop. This is the We Got Next podcast. I'm flying solo today. I'm John, your host, co-host, co-creator of the show. We got a lot of stuff to get to today. But first, before we do any of that, excuse me, find us on Facebook at We Got Next Podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, go to We Got Next Podcast. That's where we do it live. This episode is not live. This episode is pre-recorded. We had some technical difficulties, to say the least. But it's all right. Joe's not joining me today. It's just me, by myself. Can you really pick and pop on your own, though? It's just more of a ISO. We do an ISO today, I guess. But if you are watching this on video, on Facebook, when this premiered, not YouTube, find us wherever you get your podcast. We're free. Free to download, free to stream. Wherever you get your podcast, that's where we are at. On Twitter, on Instagram, at WeGotNext_pod. Voicemail line. Let us know what you have to say and actually say it. Call in. Leave a message. 806-370-0779. A lot of misconceptions is that you're going to talk to a real person. You're not. Hate to burst that bubble. Sorry. We got some stuff at the buzzer. Naomi Osaka is doing wonderful things. She is a great human being. Also a champion. Do not forget that. We got EA bringing back NCAA. Questionable decision, some people say. Rob Gronkowski is a trickster. We're talking NBA All-Star and how that's going to be a little bit different this weekend. Or the weekend that they actually have it. The ugly truth about Texas Tech men's hoops. I'm going to get to that. And some of y'all might not like what I have to say about that. Super Bowl Sunday is upon us. But first. So, a couple got ejected from last night's game between the Lakers and the Hawks in Atlanta. From Dave McMenamin, ESPN. 4 fans were ejected after the game was stopped by referees when, we'll call her, well, I was going to call her by her name, but we're not going to call her by her name. Anyway, she was spouting off, "Shut the F up. Don't talk to my husband like that." Her husband actually being the one that was talking mess to a player on the basketball court, of all people, LeBron James. Because, you know, he gets all the targeted hate. Doesn't make any sense to me. Well, it kind of does. Early in his career, I didn't see what the hype was about. But as we got to see him mature, especially during the Miami days, yeah, I can see why people dislike the fool. Anyway, the two had a back and forth, James and said woman's husband. You know how entitled Courtside fans are doing those things. Also, fans at this game, Courtside, which is not, I don't know. The NBA has a slight problem with that. I'll get to that in a second. She goes on to say in a Snapchat video, after getting ejected, by the way, for getting in LeBron's face, quote, on her Snapchat video, "Anyway, I'm minding my own business, drinking my beverage, having fun. All of a sudden, like it's just random, LeBron says something to my husband. And I see this and I stand up and I go, 'Don't effing talk to my husband.' He goes, 'Sit the F down.' He says the B word. 'You sit down,' she says. It's weird. It's a strange back and forth. According to her, which hasn't really been proven, she goes, 'Don't call me an F and B. You sit down. You get out of here. Don't talk to my husband like that,' which is weird. Like, what? You're in his space, first of all. Second, he can't go anywhere. Like, he's doing his job, and you're yelling at him for doing his job. Okay, here, first of all, it's just a little weird to me that she's telling him to leave and getting in his face about it. Courtside Karen is what LeBron James later named her on Twitter Follow up for this, Hawks are also launching an investigation to Courtside Karen as video reportedly shows LeBron calling her husband old steroid ass. So if you look this fool up, he's swole. Juliana Carlos is the name of the woman, by the way. So you find her on the internet, you're probably going to find her husband too. Kind of older guy. Courtside Karen was mad is what James said afterwards on his Twitter account. I did like how he kind of downplayed it, though. At the end of the game, he said, quote, "At the end of the day, I'm glad fans are back in the building. I miss that interaction. I need that interaction. We as players need that interaction. I don't feel like it was warranted to be kicked out." So James says, you know what? There's a little banter that's back and forth. That's what the fans kind of pay for, to get all lively and rowdy. Way to play that off, sir. Very smooth of you. But I will say this. I don't think they deserve to be kicked out. But this lady kind of like... Some people claiming she's doing a little bit of clout chasing. I can kind of believe that too. She's going about it kind of a weird way. You know, Snapchat. But she's tripping. This lady's tripping. And if LeBron says something back, like, what did you expect he was going to do? Just kind of sit there and take it? Nah. See, entitled fans being courtside is something that does rub me the wrong way. Just because, I mean, I was a courtside fan once, very luckily, when a friend hooked it up. Thank you, Enrique. Shout out to you. But, no, I wasn't out here, like... I was yelling at the game how I would if I was at the TV. I wasn't, like, trying to verbally assault the players. It's just, you're garbage, man. Or, ooh, blocked. You know, stuff like that. But, like, insulting them and, like, trying to provoke them, that's... If any one of those athletes could just... We've seen Malice at the Palace. Rip one off, punch someone in the face, break a jaw. Not that LeBron James would do that. He has more class. But, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me why she's feeling like she's the victim. You provoked it. The Atlanta Hawks are now investigating you personally. That's stupid. Who's in the wrong here? I say Courtside Karen is in the wrong here, just because she didn't really handle that situation. If it were me, if I had gotten ejected, first of all, if it was me and an NBA player was acknowledging me, hell yeah, I'd be all for that. Oh, hey, no, shut up. Hey, shut up. He already acknowledged me. We're cool. We're good. Also, thankfully, my girlfriend isn't one that's going to be, like, popping off and trying to get me in the situation to defend her like that. Like, well, I'm about to get my ass whooped by an NBA player who is significantly larger than me, mind you. All right. Super Bowl Sunday is upon us. The Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. Super Bowl LV 55, by the way. Excuse me. General thoughts? We're in for a damn good game. It sucks that 2 Kansas City Chief players are on COVID list right now. It's a little bit of a concern. Moving forward for the Super Bowl, they're not going to cancel it. How television works, I'll give you a little behind the curtain here. You pay for that ad time. You pay for that airspace, or that ad space. Pretty much that block of time for you to be on television, including the ads to help pay for that. You can't take that back. So there's no way they're going to reschedule the Super Bowl. Hell no. Secondly, I want to apologize for losing my cool, said LeBron's heckler, who reportedly won't be banned from future Hawks games. Update coming in. Read the statement here. No thanks, Yahoo. I'll read it later. Also, NBA is cracking down on mask protocols after that interaction because, you can't have ladies taking their masks off trying to get in faces of NBA players. You're supposed to be protecting the players. Having them courtside doesn't make any sense. At least push them 5 rows back, 3 rows back. That's okay. That's fine. Anyway, Super Bowl. You can't have 2 GOATs. First off, let me start by saying this. You cannot have 2 greatest of all times. Because the greatest of all time would imply that there's only one person that can be great. This person's great, this person's great, this person's great. But the greatest is above all of them. So people saying, is Patrick Mahomes the new GOAT? Like, no, you're either the greatest of all time or you're not. So where this conversation can kind of get a little bit tricky, you have Patrick Mahomes potentially winning a back-to-back Super Bowl, which hasn't happened since the Patriots did it, which is kind of cool because Tom Brady's the one that did that, and now you have Tom Brady playing again. All right, cool. But yeah, if Patrick Mahomes does that off the bat, boom, Hall of Fame. Throw him in there right now. Also, if I were Patrick Mahomes, I'd have a lot of money that I'm stowing away. Maybe buying a house. I don't know. Property taxes would get you though. Probably wouldn't buy something that's, too crazy like that. Anyway, you have all this money. You have a lady soon to be married. You're about to have a kid. You just won the tip of the top in your career accomplishment. I mean, what else is for you left after that? You win back-to-back Super Bowls. Cool. Do you try to go three-peat? I don't know. Football's a little bit harder to do something like that. I think that would be unheard of, too, which would be pretty damn amazing. You can't have two GOATs. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. My thing with Mahomes winning, and if we're going straight up Super Bowl prediction right here, Patrick Mahomes is going to win the Super Bowl again. That's it. Flat out. There's nothing else to it. The Chiefs, even with their offensive linemen being out, even with 2 players on COVID protocol, still have Patrick Mahomes. Now, people were saying that this is probably the greatest combination quarterbacks to go up against each other in the Super Bowl. I disagree. We're getting very low rate Tom Brady right here. I mean, if you saw how he played in the NFC Championship, he was practically giving chances out, literally throwing those interceptions. So top tier Tom Brady, not really that good. The Chiefs are actually really good at defending small window passing opportunities, and Brady can kind of still fling it in there to do some damage like that, but against this defense, maybe not so much. Tampa Bay does have the weapons on offense, I believe. The defense is damn good, and if defenses have taught me anything in Super Bowl wins where the quarterback was trash, i.e. Peyton Manning, i.e. Tampa Bay the last time they won a Super Bowl. Bears, not so much. Almost got there. They had a good defense that year. Yeah, you just... They're not going to surprise me if they keep it close. I'll say that. I'm hoping for a close game. Everybody's hoping for a close game. Duh. But it's not going to surprise me if this game is close and Tom Brady throws over under 2 interceptions. If he throws under 2, I'll be concerned. Or surprised, excuse me. But is Kansas City going to be champions? Yes. Should you take the over on this game? Yes. Does Tampa Bay bring Tom Brady back if he loses? He said his future is a little bit uncertain. I don't think he goes out on a loss like this. And with Tampa Bay having played as well as they did this season, even with a very good NFC, yeah, I mean, his division's going to shake up after Breeze is gone. We still have a whole bunch of quarterbacks moving around potentially, and I'll get to that in a second. I don't think Brady hangs it up after this. I'll probably talk about that sometime next week. But no, I think he is going to be fine. Brady will be fine. Nah, who am I kidding? He's going to lose. All right, let's get into the quarterback carousel. Big names were on the market. Yeah, Deshaun Watson. Aaron Rodgers. There's still a whole thing in Green Bay that's kind of going awry. It's a bunch of he said. Mostly Rodgers and people that know him personally are saying, yeah, just, give him the money. He'll be all right. Get to that. Matthew Stafford was on the market, and then all of a sudden got thrown around in a very, very interesting trade with Jared Goff. Poor Jared Goff. I'll get to that right now. So Watson still wants out of Houston after the Texans made their head coaching and GM decisions. He announced he wanted to be traded just a few months removed in September, I believe, from his extension. Although new GM Nick Caserio said there is, quote, zero interest in trading the player, which is weird how he phrased that. The player, Come on, dude. We know what you're trying to do. Getting under his skin and showing blatant disrespect to Deshaun Watson, who just had a hell of a season for that organization, and it was all for nothing for them. For all those contract watching, by the way, yes, it states that he cannot be traded by the team. Watson himself can ask for a trade, but the team just randomly trading him, they cannot do that. On Monday, Houston came out with a list of things they wanted in return for Deshaun Watson because his value is pretty high. 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 2 young defensive starters. You might think that's a lot. It is. But how this previous trade just happened with on Saturday with the Lions trading Matt Stafford to the Rams in exchange for Jared Goff and 3 valuable picks, including a first-round pick in the 22 and 23 drafts, and a third-round pick in this year's draft. That's from Adam Schefter of ESPN. My issue with this is that the people who are already drawing up crazy, divisive questions, is who won the trade? When you got one guy that's been solid his entire career, even with injuries, and another dude that took a team to the Super Bowl and lost after not helping his offense with his arm because his star running back was playing injured. And then he didn't even finish that game, I don't think. I think Stafford's a better quarterback than Jared Goff. He dipped. He had 2 great seasons, Goff did, mind you. But that was after a abysmal rookie season. Also in that draft class with Goff, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott. One of those quarterbacks needs to sign a contract. I'll get to that in a second. But out of those 3, Goff was, I think he was picked first out of those 3. Definitely, because Prescott was like a later round dude. I don't think Detroit wanted Goff as much as people keep saying, oh yeah, that's a great pickup. Because if it was a great pickup, they would have just outright traded 1-to-1 Stafford for Goff. The Rams, though, are trying to... They don't have any more first-round picks. Goff's out of there. So your win now, I guess it's win now, pretty much, for this team. Matt Stafford, good quarterback, will turn into a great quarterback because now he has a defense that can actually back him up. He has some offensive weapons too, and then you got a coaching scheme that is not necessarily designed for him. And that's my concern moving forward with them too, is that this was kind of put around Goff's weaknesses more than anything. Stafford has a better arm, bigger arm. He is known to be injury prone, so that's a little bit of an issue there for Rams fans. Detroit fans will also be quick to tell you that too. Excuse me. Detroit fans will also be willing to tell you that too, but I don't think it's a good position for Jared Goff to be in. You have a lot of expectations on your shoulders, being as good as you were, if you want to take the positives out of the numbers that he had in those 2 balloon seasons that he had for passing yards and touchdowns. That's a lot to get back for him. And Detroit does look like they're actually bolstering up the future, and that's good for them. Hey, way to play that. Good job on them. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to be looking to build a team around Jared Goff. Who would I want to build a team around? Aaron Rodgers. Could this be his last season in Green Bay? We know this could be his MVP season. That's not stopping Green Bay, though, from letting him walk, or people calling Rodgers locker room poison, quote, because he always tries to get people fired. That's a comment I actually saw on Facebook. Doesn't make any sense. Pay the man. Pay him his money. Let this be his final hurrah. Let him usher in the new quarterback that you got in your draft last year, which was blatant disrespect to Aaron Rodgers. A little bit. Just because people were already talking about him being on the way out, him getting older, him not being as good as he used to be. We get it. But, yeah, that future could be a little bit brighter. Pay him a little bit more money. Get him on like a 2-year deal. He knows his time is up. All right, cool. He'll do something else. Dak Prescott actually is the person you should build it around, your future around. If you're the Cowboys, still hasn't been paid. Both the Cowboys and Prescott's agent have been in talks since last season. But the Dallas organization is claiming that they're waiting until the NFL finalizes the salary cap for next season. Wink. That's from Dan Graziano of ESPN as well. Which situation is most intriguing to me? It's got to be Watson. You have bad blood there. Watson wants nothing to do with the former GM or the owner. His head coach hiring, all right, cool. I mean, that's still not going to help you. That's still not going to help me. He has plenty of places to go. Some people saying Chicago. Miami, get Tua out of there. A funny thing I heard was Watson being traded to Cleveland. Baker Mayfield was not too happy about that. Pretty much calling out bandwagon Bears fans, which I thought was hilarious. But the situation that's second most intriguing to me, Dak Prescott, just because the Dallas Cowboys need to pay him already. Pay him. Because any other situation, Jared Goff, for example, he has those badass seasons, and then all of a sudden, his contract, bam, goes through. Money. I think it was after Gurley got signed, if I'm not mistaken. But all of a sudden, you get Goff as a highest paid quarterback or a high paid quarterback. I don't think he was worth that money. But in those situations, especially if you're the Rams, you just got a young head coach and you got a system that works well with your quarterback, essentially tailored to him. They paid him quickly, as soon as they could. They couldn't figure out how much extra zeros to give him. I think it was just like one extra zero, but whatever. Yeah, it's just weird. In this situation, you would normally do that, and now Houston did the same thing with Watson too. They signed it to that extension, but now Dallas is dragging their feet on this, and you don't want to pay the best asset you had on your offense. That wasn't your, deteriorating offensive line. But some people are saying that they need to make sure that the line is going to be there to protect him. Maybe that's why he's holding out. Maybe there's some other factors that we don't know because we're just the general public. That makes sense too. But you need to pay Dak Prescott if you want to continue to be good. Jerry Jones family in general, get that man his money, please. All right. Y'all ain't going to like it. But I'm going to tell you anyway. Number 13, Texas Tech defeated the Oklahoma Sooners on Monday night, 57-52, to improve to 13-5, 5-4 in the Big 12. Coach Beard on that win, obviously, quote, obviously it was a defensive battle that was ugly in some ways, but beautiful in others. The defense actually overshadowed how the offense played. I am not impressed with this win. Why? Let me tell you. 33% shooting, 6 for 22 on 3-pointers. Terrible. Especially since the team that got you to the Final Four, I guess last season's kind of a wash too, so let's kind of forget that. But the team that got you to the Final Four and to the national championship could shoot those threes. Tech doesn't really have players that can do that consistently. They're very streaky. I was talking to Travis, our good friend of the show, about that. Shout out to Travis. They're streaky when they shoot. The offense is very prone to getting into sludge. What I mean by that is they don't move around. The motion doesn't happen as often as it should, as quick as it should. McClung on a few plays, he'll make his cut or he'll make his curl to the outside, and then he'll stop. I noticed a couple times during the game. Instead of continuing his run to go to the other side of the court to kind of free everybody up, spacing was weird. The ball doesn't really move as quick as it should. It sticks, like I said, being in sludge. Tech's very lucky that Oklahoma didn't have their best player, who was out with injury. And at that, on McClung, your best offensive weapon only had 6 points. All of those from the free throw line, which is cool. He still scored. That's awesome. That's the 4th time he's been under his scoring average, though, this season. Not good for Tech, especially with... Come on, Mac. We know you can do it all. And I think that's part of the problem of it, too, is that Tech was very lucky that the bench actually had some options to come in and give you more scoring opportunities. Is it feasible for tournament play? I don't think so. Is it feasible even for the Big 12? No, especially when you have Texas playing well, Baylor playing well. West Virginia's kind of on the fringe right now. They're still kind of lurking. I'd like to see more offensive production from Tech. Give me higher scoring that isn't against like Texas Trinity or something like that. That's my concern with that. But I'll end on a positive note. I don't want to be all hater ass over here. The Red Raiders came to the game with a 5.2 turnover advantage. That's 4th in the nation. In the nation. Not just the Big 12. So that's good. Even though their turnovers were at costly moments in that game. It was a little bit bothersome. For me, anyway. 20th in the nation in holding opponents to 62 points per game. And they held Oklahoma, who just came off 3 ranked wins against ranked opponents. They were trying to make it 4 in a row against a top 10 opponent. But since Tech had the TCU game get canceled last week, they couldn't maintain their rank. Had a close game. Dropped down from 10 to 13. So Oklahoma was looking to beat 4 opponents in a row that had top 10 ranks. Never done in NCAA history, by the way. And, well, either way, even if Tech was ranked and they beat Oklahoma, they were going to beat Oklahoma. So, sorry, Oklahoma. Not really. 10 turnovers a game is the best in the top 5 teams in the Big 12, so that's good news for Tech. I know I said they had costly turnovers, but at least they don't have that many of them, so that's pretty good for me. There's a lot of upside to this. I know they're a young team. I'm getting off their back already, so I'm on your side again, Tech fans. But, yeah, I know it's going to take some maturity, and I know things have been weird. Things have been different. But it's not as good. I'm used to being in national championship form. Excuse me for that, okay? Okay. NBA All-Star Day from Woj. Adrian Wojnarowski. ESPN filed this story. The NBA and the NBA Players Association are progressing towards an agreement for the All-Star Game on March 7th instead of February like it usually is. March 7th at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. A single night event that would encompass Eastern versus Western Conference game and skills competitions. Sources tell ESPN. That's about it. That's about all you're getting from that. Only because, yeah, there's a lot. The Super Bowl is having 25,000 fans there. Most of them will be cardboard, though. But, yeah, I don't think the NBA is going to want to risk that, especially after having a very successful bubble season. I understand players not wanting to go back to that whole situation, which is why they're doing normal NBA travel. I say normal, but they're playing the same team in at least three nights apart from each other. So it's normal enough to at least have the travel. But I do think that's a good idea. I think it would be a better idea if they don't have All-Star Weekend. As much as I hate to say that, I love All-Star Weekends. One of my favorite All-Star events in professional sports. I would be okay if they didn't have it. That's just me. A lot of people don't like the All-Star game anyway. Also, this is coming off the heels of the Super Bowl. It wouldn't be too much of a viewings ratings boost. But for me, the health and safety of the players is more important than All-Star Game. And even if you're going to do that, just like let the players have the week off. And if you're going to have it in one night, make it on a Friday night. Set up the slate. They're probably going to keep it on a Sunday anyway, just because people are used to having big events on Sunday in prime time. That makes sense. But if you don't have it, that would be a smart move too. It's all about the money, everyone. All right, Joe's not here, so let's go at the buzzer. Anyway, Naomi Osaka just keeps staying dope. She's cool. She joined the ownership group of the National Women's Soccer League club, North Carolina Courage. She is, quote, currently reflecting on how the women who have invested in me growing up made me who I am today. She posted in an Instagram post wearing her name on a jersey. She also goes on to say, quote, I've always received so much love from my fellow female athletes. Shout out to her for doing dope stuff. She goes on to say, I will keep continuing to pay the love I have received forward, and I'm excited to continue the legacy of women empowerment. Sakura emoji, heart emoji. Naomi Osaka just stays winning. Shout out to you. Another shout out here. EA Games. Not really. They're bringing back the NCAA football game. One of my favorites. I used to play with West Virginia, ironically enough, before they joined the Big 12, and then when they stopped making the game, West Virginia gets in the Big 12, which is kind of funny. It's starting a weird kind of infighting in the comments sections of a lot of places, and it's a divisive topic just because of NCAA athletes having their likenesses used for the game. But I think what EA might do in this instance to kind of get over that would be auto generation, random generations of players. So you have offensive linemen or running backs, wide receivers, whatever, that don't necessarily look like who they're supposed to kind of look like. That's how you get around that, I guess. What game would I like to see remade from EA using their EA Sports franchise reboots, if there was one? Yeah, give me Fight Night. I want a good boxing game again. I don't care too much for UFC fighting. I kind of strayed away from it anyway, so I'm just Even the two that I played, they weren't really that engaging to me. Anyway. Yeah, give me Fight Night. Very technical fighting game. I hate how they got rid of when you used to have to throw a hook with the analog sticks, you would actually hook it. They got rid of that. So it was just like a straight arrow. Like jab was straight, and then hook was up left, and then uppercut was down left. It was weird. I didn't like it. Yeah, that game was awesome though. Fight Night was great. My brothers and I would jump in on that, throw down on that, get mad at each other for beating each other, stuff like that. But in all seriousness, I think they should bring back NBA Street. Please do that. Make it stylistic. Don't make it like... Ugh. Don't make it like... Volume 3 was good, but don't make it like that. Kind of get it a very arcadey style, back to basics NBA Street Volume 2. Do that. Rob Gronkowski is a trickster. At Media Day on Monday, he told reporters that he filmed several days worth of workouts to send to the coaching staff. He did it all in one sitting, opting to change his shirt after multiple reps to have footage to send the next time he was asked to do so. So he batched it, pretty much. One big batch of workout videos, just chop it up with you wearing different shirts, and then just breadcrumb them out. Send them out whenever you needed to. All right, coach, I'm working out. I'm doing this. For as much as Gronk, who, by the way, his name very much fits his face, as much as a goof this guy is, that's pretty genius. I can't actually be mad about that. I was hoping Joe was going to be on this episode to get his point of view on that. That's smart. That's just smart. Shout out to you for doing that. Episode wrap. This is where I do the episode wrap. Thanks for joining us on this recording. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Search YouTube, by the way. We Got Next Podcast. Same way you would find us on Facebook as well. Search We Got Next Podcast. Tell your friends about it too. Give us the thumbs up. Give us the likes. Tell all your friends. Also subscribe on the YouTube channel. You'll get pings when the videos come out, when we actually drop them over there. If you didn't join us on Facebook or YouTube, find us wherever podcasts are available on all major podcast streaming services. We're free. F-R-E-E, free. Doesn't cost you anything except a little bit of time if you have to go make an account. Whatever. That's easy. Wherever you find your podcast, that's where we're at. On Twitter, on Instagram, at WeGotNext_pod. Find videos there. It's a delight. Voicemail, 806-370-0779. If you really want to talk to us with your vocals, you can do that too. You'll get a prompt to leave a message, and then you'll leave a message. We might be doing this a little bit differently, just because Joe's schedule is not shaped up as concrete as we thought originally, so he might be on the shelf for a little bit. I'll probably come out with just some quick 1-minute videos on the social media. Again, at WeGotNext_pod. You'll find it on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook. I'll get it to post everywhere all at once. Shoot your shot, everybody. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. And try not to make a fool of yourself at Super Bowl parties, please.